Why is it still that important to teach Anne Frank's story to children and teenagers?
Without understanding the Holocaust, you can't understand the society today. And the biographical approach with the story of Anne Frank, but we also work with other stories from children, for example, that were persecuted as Jews and they lived in Berlin. So the biographical approach is always a good starting point. From that point, you can go into the broader history and into complicated concepts of historical understanding. The Anne Frank Zentrum exists since nearly 30 years. And it did not change that youngsters are interested in life stories. And we tell the story in a way that there is something like a direct personal connection from the youngsters today to the story that we tell in history. And a very important point is that we do not only tell a history. Like half of our time we spend on the question, what is the meaning for today, and why do we talk about the history of Anne Frank? They connect to different points of the story, and this is very important, because otherwise, it is boring when you tell the children what they have to learn. We can read the diary today. This is very special that there is this biographical source of, we can really, Anne Frank wrote down what she thinks about different subjects, what are her experiences as a young girl from 13 to 15. And we can read it and we can connect to this. So for Anne Frank, it was important that she was a young woman, and it was, from time to time, it was important that she's Jewish for herself. And there are different parts of identity. And if we look at Anne Frank, and then in this part of the exhibition, we look on 10 other life stories, then we have a broad idea of what identity is, and what, once again, how people deal with different forms of discrimination.
But what is it about Anne Frank that makes her the one most of the people remember? Why is she so special? Or what is it about her that fascinates and moves the people?
As an educational side, we have many sources, and this is very special for a victim of the Holocaust. We have not only the diary, but in our exhibition, we show more than 20 short videos of eyewitnesses, of her friends, of the helpers in the hiding place, of Otto, the only survivor. So we have a wide range of interesting sources and viewing points on the story. Also, a very simple answer is that there are institutions that do research on the history of Anne Frank since the 1960s. And it was Otto Frank. He is the one who decided to publish the diary. And for his whole lifetime, he died as an old man with 90 years in 1980. And he gave a lot of his power into the memory. Sometimes when I'm asked these questions, I'm a little bit angry, because the people, sometimes people think, there are 1.5 million children who died in the Holocaust. And why do you always talk about Anne Frank? We talk about Anne Frank because we are the Anne Frank Center. We do not only talk about Anne Frank, we also show other histories. But it is not that easy. We do not know that much about other stories.
And what are your experiences, and how do children and teenagers react when they learn more about Anne Frank, or maybe first learn about her story? Like, are they getting emotional? Is it moving them?
Yeah, and it differs a lot. How do you tell the story, of course? If we have a school class with 25 to 13 children here, some of them connect, some of them don't. It has something to do with the story of Anne Frank, but it has also something to do what they already learned about the Holocaust. Because if they already know something, then there are most of the time they are more interested in the subject. But if they met adults in their childhood that only said, oh, it's a complicated and a worse and a sad story. Don't ask about a subject like the Holocaust. And this is very, in this post-Shoah society we live in, there are many emotions, especially on the side of adults. And it has very much to do how the teacher is acting, what they did in school before. If they only had facts and figures about the Holocaust, then they are not emotional. But and what they lived through in their life, connecting to this subject.
And do you experience any change in those reactions?
As I said, it is very different. I yesterday met a girl who read the diary and who did a presentation in school, and I said to her, there are these short films about the diary, and she said, I don't don't look at these films. I already read the book.
Mm-hmm.
So it is not that this new media always fit to the things the youngsters need and they are interested in.
Okay. Yeah.
And if you do not know that much about the subject, you are not that interested in. This is with every subject, it's the same, because we are one small part of this journey of learning and interest. And if the journey does not start, you cannot build on nothing.